So, guten Morgen, alle. Okay, I'll put it here. So this morning, what's today? Today is Friday, the 11th. 11th of July, 1925. No, 2025. Yeah, times are moving on. And we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. How fortunate we are. Canto 8, Chapter 9. What verses do we have up here? 18. Oh my, okay. 18, yeah. What did we read yesterday? We read 15. We read through 15. Okay, 1 second. Where is my... There. Okay, so there's 16, 17, and then there's 18. There's a change of meter also. So, okay. First, verse 16, prāṅ-mukheṣūpaviṣṭeṣu sureṣu diti-jeṣu cha dhūpāmodita-śālāyāṁ juṣṭāyāṁ mālya-dīpakaiḥ. And verse 17, tasyāṁ narendra karabhorur uśad-dukūla śroṇī-taṭālasa-gatir mada-vihvalākṣī. Sa kūjatī kanaka-nūpura-śiñjitena kumbha-stanī kalasa-pāṇir athāviveśa. And those two verses are translated together. O King, as the demigods and demons sat facing east in an arena fully decorated with flower garlands and lamps and fragrant with the smoke of incense, that woman, that is Mohini Murti, dressed in a most beautiful sari, her ankle bells tinkling, entered the arena, walking very slowly because of her big, low hips. Her eyes were restless due to youthful pride. Her breasts were like water jugs. Her thighs resembled the trunks of elephants, and she carried a water pot in her hand. A water pot, not the nectar pot. Maybe a pot normally for water, but carrying, anyway, kalasa-pāṇiḥ, it says, holding a water pot in her hand. All right, then we have today's verse written. Taṁ Shri Saking Kanaka Kundala-charukarna I think we can do better than that. Taṁ Shri Sakim Kanaka Kundala-charukarna Nasa kapola vadanam paradevatakyam. Nasa kapola vadanam paradevatakyam. Samviksha sammumuhur utsmita vikshanena. Samviksha sammumuhur utsmita vikshanena. Devasura vigalita-stana pattikantam. Devasura vigalita-stana pattikantam.
Tam Shri Sakim Kanaka Kundala Charukana. Tam Shri Sakim Kanaka Kundala Charukana. Rasa Kapula Vadanam mada-vihvala-akṣī. Rasa Kapula Vadanam mada-vihvala-akṣī. Samvikṣya sammumuha uśmita vikshanena. Samvikṣya sammumuha uśmita vikshanena. Devasura vigalita-stana pattikantam. Devasura vigalita-stana pattikantam. Shri Sakim Kanaka Kundala Charukarna. Shri Sakim Kanaka Kundala Charukarna. Vadanam paradevatakyam. Vadanam paradevatakyam. Sammuhurusmita vikshanena. Samviksha sammuhurusmita vikshanena. Devasura vigalita-stana pattikantam. Devasura vigalita-stana pattikantam.
Tam Shri Sakim Kanaka Kundala Charukarna.
Tam Shri Sakim Kanaka Kundala Charukarna. Nasa Kapula Vadanam mada-vihvala-akṣī.
Samviksha sammumuhur uśmita vikshanena.
Viksha sammumuhur utsmita vikshanena.
Devasura vigalita-stana pattikantam.
Tam Shri Sakim Kanaka Kundala Charukarna.
Tam Shri Sakim Kanaka Kundala Charukarna.
Vatanam paradevatakyam.
Nasa Kapula Vadanam mada-vihvala-akṣī. Samviksha sammumuhur uśmita vikshanena.
Devasura vigalita-stana pattikantam. Okay. What's it all mean? Tam, unto her, Shri Sakim, appearing like a personal associate of the goddess of fortune. Kanaka-kundala, with golden earrings. Charu, very beautiful. Karna, ears. Nasa, nose. Kapola, cheeks. Vadanam,
Vadanam,
face.
face.
Paradevata-akyam,
Mada-vihvala-akṣī,
the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead,
personality of Godhead,
appearing in that form.
in that form.
Samviksha,
Samviksha,
looking at her.
looking at her.
Sammumuhu,
Sammumuhu,
all of them became enchanted.
all of them became enchanted.
Utsmita,
Uśad-dukūla,
slightly smiling.
slightly smiling.
Vikshanena,
Krishna
glancing over them. Deva Asura,
Deva-asura,
all the demigods and demons.
all the demigods and demons.
Vigalita Stana Partika Antam, the border of the sari on the breasts moved slightly. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: her attractive nose and cheeks and her ears, adorned with golden earrings, made her face very beautiful. As she moved, her sari's border on her breasts moved slightly aside. When the demigods and demons saw these beautiful features of Mohini Murti, who was glancing at them and slightly smiling, they were all completely enchanted. Purport: Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks here that Mohini Murti is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in a feminine form, and that the Goddess of Fortune is her associate. So the other way around from Sri Sakim appearing like a personal associate of the Goddess of Fortune. So here Vishwanath saying, well, it's actually the other way around. This form, assumed by the personality of Godhead, challenged the Goddess of Fortune. The Goddess of Fortune is beautiful. But if the Lord accepts the form of a woman, he surpasses the Goddess of Fortune in beauty. It is not that the Goddess of Fortune, being female, is the most beautiful. The Lord is so beautiful that he can excel any beautiful Goddess of Fortune by assuming a female form. Hare Krishna. And so ends Srila Prabhupada's purport. So what do you say to this? Do you agree? Some persons who would, there are persons who would say, well, this is all very patriarchal. It's kind of saying that because somehow the male must be superior, therefore when the male takes a female form, therefore this female form must be more beautiful than even the most beautiful female form. It could be taken that way. The word beautiful or beauty, I was thinking in English language, we don't usually associate male attractive form with the word beauty. We usually think handsome, right? In German, what is it? Schön. You don't say, der Mann ist sehr schön. Sehr staatlich.
Gut aussehend.
Gut aussehend. Gut, sieht gut aus. Okay. That's funny. Anyway, we have in English language this word beauty and beautiful. And in the verse, we have the word charu. That's the place where beauty comes into the verse specifically. But we can say the whole verse is emphasizing the beauty, the charm of this form of the Lord. But it's also highlighting the response of those who are seeing Mohini Murti. It's the response not only of the demons, but also the demigods. They were all enchanted. But what was there a difference in their enchantment, we may ask? Was there a difference in their perception? I'm going to just put that question and put it aside, because I want to explore a bit more about Krishna's beauty, and for that we have Nectar of Devotion, the 64th of the 64 qualities of Krishna, Krishna's exquisite beauty. So I'll just read from Srila Prabhupada's Nectar of Devotion, the first and third paragraphs, I think. Prabhupada writes in the third canto, second chapter, verse 12. Of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Uddhava tells Vidura, "My dear sir, Krishna's form was most wonderful when he appeared on this planet and exhibited the potency of his internal energy. His wonderfully attractive form was present during his pastimes on this planet. And by his internal potency, he exhibited his opulences, which are striking to everyone. His personal beauty was so great that there was no necessity for his wearing ornaments on his body. In fact, instead of the ornaments beautifying Krishna, Krishna's beauty enhanced the ornaments. Usually one dresses up with the idea that the ornaments, the dress, will enhance one's attractiveness. But the point, it's a nice point, I think, that it's the other way around in the case of Krishna. The next paragraph is speaking about his flute and the response, which a little bit surprised me that it's in this section instead of about Krishna's flute playing. But here, the next paragraph, in Rupa Goswami's Lalita Madhava, it is said, "One day Krishna happened to see the shadow of his beautiful form reflected on the jeweled foreground." Now, Srila Prabhupada often would use this expression, shadow reflection. I think he had a kind of different sense from how we usually use the word shadow. Upon seeing this bodily reflection, he expressed his feelings. "How wonderful it is that I have never seen such a beautiful form. Although it is my own form, still, like Radharani, I am trying to embrace this form and enjoy celestial bliss." This statement shows how Krishna and his shadow reflection are one and the same. There is no difference between Krishna and his shadow reflection, nor between Krishna and his picture. That is the transcendental position of Krishna. To this last point, which is because Prabhupada mentions it, no difference between Krishna and his picture. One devotee asked Srila Prabhupada one time, so we see so many different pictures of Krishna and they're all different. So how does Krishna actually look? And as I heard this account, Prabhupada was a bit surprised at the question, like, what is the problem? What is the difficulty? And in the room where they were sitting, there were several pictures of Krishna, all looking rather different from each other. And Prabhupada kind of looked around and gestured to all the pictures and said, they're all Krishna. What's the problem? And another time, maybe it was Shruta-kirti was with him, they were flying, they were sitting in an airplane. Srila Prabhupada had received a very crude child's picture of Krishna, apparently just as he was leaving the temple. And Shruta-kirti reports that Prabhupada had this picture of Krishna on his, the tray that you have in front of you in the airplane. He had the picture in front of him during the flight, and Prabhupada was chanting japa, and his attention was on this picture of this very crude child's picture of Krishna. For him, this was Krishna. And so he was chanting. Okay, so that's about Krishna's beauty of his shadow reflection and the surprise that Krishna finds in seeing his own form, which raises sort of interesting questions. Does that mean that Krishna is limited in his seeing such that he needs to have a reflection of himself before he can see himself? What does that mean about Krishna's power of sight? Anyway, that's another question we can put aside. And I wanted to go to another passage in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hope I have it here. Yes. In the 4th chapter of Adi Lila, there is an extensive elaboration by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami about Srimati Radharani in order to highlight, to make clear the point about the internal purpose of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearing in the world, that he is appearing specifically to experience what are the feelings of love that Srimati Radharani feels for Lord Krishna. And in the course of this chapter, he's elaborating on the nature of Radharani, her qualities, and it's a very very fine presentation, introduction, if you like, of the qualities of Radharani. So he's going through these qualities, and Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ki Jai. And at one point he quotes from the Bhagavatam this verse toward the end of Rasa Lila, in which Krishna expresses his incapacity to reciprocate the love of the gopis. So he's emphasizing the power of the love of the gopis as in comparison to Krishna's feeling of inadequacy to reciprocate that. Na pareham niravadya samyujam svasadu kritya vibudayushapiva, and so on. And then he goes on to another feature of the gopis. I want to read a few verses here. This is Adi Lila 4, verse 185 to begin with. Aro ekka adbutta gopi bhavya shabhav buddhir gochar nohe jara prabhav. Jahara prabhav. There is another wonderful feature of the emotion of the gopis. Its power is beyond the comprehension of the intelligence. I can't get the next verse without the help of the internet. Do we have internet here in this room? Then I would need to know what is the temple Wi-Fi. Okay. Oh, okay. Now everyone knows. Big secret. Oh, yes, good, thank you. And let's see. Yeah, okay. That works. Sometimes it's nice to have this technology. Gopi gana kore jabe Krishna darashan shuka vancha nahi shuka hoy koti gun. When the gopis see Lord Krishna, they derive unbounded bliss, although they have no desire for such pleasure. The gopis taste a pleasure 10 million times greater than the pleasure Lord Krishna derives from seeing them. The gopis have no inclination for their own enjoyment, and yet their joy increases. That is indeed a contradiction. For this contradiction, I see only one solution. The joy of the gopis lies in the joy of their beloved Krishna. So this is developing this sort of idea of a competition between the gopis and Krishna to please the other. And in the course of this, there will be reference to Krishna's beauty and the gopis' beauty. But here I want to pause to this Prabhupada's purport. The second half of the short purport, Prabhupada says, if one gains the favor of the gopis, he easily gains the favor of Krishna. Because on the recommendation of the gopis, Krishna at once accepts the service of a devotee. Lord Chaitanya therefore wanted to please the gopis instead of Krishna. And now here's interesting. But his contemporaries misunderstood him, and for this reason, Lord Chaitanya renounced the order of householder life and became a sannyasi. So his contemporaries, the people, misunderstood why, because what was he chanting? He was chanting Gopi, Gopi. And they were saying, no, you should chant Krishna, Krishna. So he was seeing that they don't understand his mood, therefore they're disrespecting, therefore they're not going to benefit. So what to do? Therefore, he took sannyas, because in society of that time, if the sannyasi was respected. But of course, then he left Navadvip, so he was anyway not dealing with those people. Okay. When Lord Krishna sees the gopis, his joy increases and his unparalleled sweetness increases also. The gopis think, Amar darshane Krishna paila etta shuka e shukke gopir prapul angamukha. Krishna has obtained so much pleasure by seeing me. That thought increases the fullness and beauty of their faces and bodies. E shukke, that happiness, gopir prapula angamukha. Their full-blown prapula angamukha becomes even more beautiful. Gopi Shobha Dakki Krishna Shobha Bade Jato Krishna Shobha Dakki Gopir Shobha Badhe Toto. The beauty of Lord Krishna increases at the sight of the beauty of the gopis. And the more the gopis see Lord Krishna's beauty, the more their beauty increases. So perception of the other's beauty increases their own beauty. That's interesting. In this way, a competition takes place between them in which no one acknowledges defeat. Krishna, however, derives pleasure from the beauty and good qualities of the gopis. And when the gopis see his pleasure, the joy of the gopis increases. Athaviveśa she sukha Krishna sukha poshe je hetu gopi preme nahi kam doshe. Therefore, we find that the joy of the gopis nourishes the joy of Lord Krishna. For that reason, the fault of lust is not present in their love. So the sort of running theme, or a major theme for Krishnadas Kaviraj is that the love of the gopis is free from lust. And this kind of brings me back to this question I raised about the response of the devas and the asuras when they see the beauty of Mohini Murti. And here I want to open it up and see how you see this. Deva asura vigalita stana patikantam utsmit, what is it? Sammumuhu. They became enchanted. So it puts both groups into the same category of enchantment upon seeing the beauty of Mohini Murti. So what do you think? Were they seeing with the same eyes? What was their experience when they were seeing Mohini Murti? Yes?
The demons, they want to enjoy themselves, Mohini Murti, but the demigods always want to please Krishna, so that could be a possibility that they have a different view of this.
It's possible they have a different view, okay?
Yeah, it's a little bit whether they understood this is the Supreme Personality of God. I don't know if they really understood how the Supreme appearing. The demigods.
Yeah.
Of course, the demons were lusty, but what the demigods, they are also still within the material realm, so.
Yes, good point. Whether they understood, whether the devas understood who they're seeing. If they would see, or if they would know, oh, this is the Supreme Lord, this is Vishnu, this is he's appearing like this, their viewing him may still be, and that they are enchanted, but that enchantment may be of a more devotional sort, perhaps, than the asuras. Yes.
So, accepting that later even Shiva was bewildered by this form.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess it's up to Krishna whether the demigods understood or not, whether they had different view or not.
Oh, okay. The plot thickens. Lord Shiva had trouble. But that's also interesting in that Lord Shiva knew quite fully that this was Vishnu or Krishna, because he approached him, the Lord, please show me that form, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Mm. So he's aware, and yet he became completely bewildered. Yes.
I remember only from the demigods also like Indra who always.
The demigods can be quite self-centered. Mm.
They can also towards
Yes, they can be bewildered. They are. And they're engaged in, they've been engaged in churning the nectar in order to gain amrita, in order to gain this sort of mundane, quote unquote, deathlessness. There's no indication that they're anticipating any sort of liberation or pure devotion from this. Yeah. So we could say like that. There is a lot of mundane. What is their motivation in comparison to that of the demons? Is it that much better? We may wonder, and that brings in the question also: is it fair? And this is a major theme in the Bhagavatam. Is God fair? Almost the whole seventh canto is about that question, whether God is fair. And although the answer to the question is yes, he's equal to everyone, it seems at the end of that account, he doesn't seem at all equal to everyone, isn't it? Huh? He's quite angry at Hiranyakashipu. I have a little theory about that, but Narayana Mataji, what would you say to this?
Is fair or not?
Yeah.
Well, I just have to accept what says. The whole cancer. That means fair. The other demons get liberation. They get, they get free from suffering. He kills them.
He kills them and they get liberation, so he's fair in that way. Okay. Yes. He's also fair, it seems to me, in that particular episode of killing Hiranyakashipu, in this sense that he is protecting the devotee who has equal vision. Prahlad has equal vision, and that's very, very strongly emphasized throughout the descriptions of Prahlad. This is how he's so much different from Hiranyakashipu, who sees friends and enemies. Prahlad does not see friends and enemies. He sees with equal vision. And it's, I think one could argue that a significant reason why Nrsimha kills Hiranyakashipu to defend Prahlad is that Prahlad has equal vision. And so he is the model devotee who is teaching us how to similarly have equal vision, and this quality of the Vaishnavas is very dear to Lord Vishnu, to Lord Krishna, and therefore Krishna is partial to the devotees because they have equal vision. So Krishna is partial to those who have equal vision. In effect, he's raising the devotees above himself in some sense. Okay, so here is this scene of enchantment, of, in any case, very strong bewilderment by the beauty of Mohini Murti. This idea of beauty as an abstract concept has sort of engaged philosophers for centuries and millennia. What is beauty? Taken as an abstraction, we, I think, have a kind of simple answer that the full repository of beauty is the Supreme Person. And because of his unlimited beauty, therefore we perceive beauty in this world. One of the debates about the nature of beauty is whether it is objective or subjective. Is beauty only in the eye of the beholder? That's a saying. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, which is the subjective idea of beauty. I perceive something and I say, oh, how beautiful. The person next to me says, oh, how ugly, to the same object or the same person or whatever. And so the argument from that side is, therefore, it's completely subjective. But there is a sense that, no, there is something real about that which we perceive as beautiful. So some say, well, it's a combination of both. You can't say it's one or the other. But what strikes me here is that it seems like the perception of beauty and actual beauty are both at play. They're both very, very significant. But because here we're speaking about the Supreme Absolute Personality of Godhead, we might want to say, put more emphasis on the objective side, that the Lord is the absolute reality. He is the absolute beauty, or reservoir of all beauty. And therefore there is perception by us, by living beings, of his beauty. So these are a few thoughts on this verse. Maybe you have some further thoughts, further reflections. Yes, Nana.
When we were trained as pujaris, they told us that Narayan is more beautiful than Lakshmi, but Radharani is more beautiful than Krishna. So when we're dressing Radha Krishna, we should make Radharani more beautiful.
There you go. So there's more competition there, it sounds like. Yeah. Yeah. So Narayan is more beautiful than Lakshmi, but Radharani is more beautiful than Krishna. Therefore, we should dress Radharani more attractively. Okay. Yeah. Now, an interesting question comes up. How do you measure greater or lesser. Here it says that, and you've just said that, one is more beautiful. How do you measure that? Or is the idea of measurement irrelevant? But here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying that Mohini Murti is more beautiful than Lakshmi. It's a kind of difficult thing to judge, and yet it brings out how much we are involved in judging beauty, isn't it? Yes.
Actually, I had a question on this part.
Yeah.
Mohini Murti is more beautiful than Lakshmi, but we are in a place that Krishna is attracted to Radharani because she is Mohini.
Indeed, yes.
So how can you explain this?
How to explain that on the one hand, here in this context of Mohini Murti and the demigods, Mohini Murti is more beautiful than Lakshmi, and on the other side, we know better. We know that Srimati Radharani is Madan Mohan Mohini. Krishna is Madan Mohan, Madana Mohana. He who bewilders, Mohana, Madana. Madana is he who maddens, namely Kamadeva or Cupid. And then she, Mohini, bewilders he who bewilders Cupid. It gets more and more complicated. You start to wonder if there's some infinite regress going on here. Is there someone more beautiful than Radharani and so on? No, it stops with Radharani. We insist. I would say it's a matter of context. When it's also said, and this kind of relates, that, where did I read this? Krishna is more beautiful in Vrindavan than, I guess, Mathura or Dwarka. He is most beautiful in Vrindavan. So context. Where is Krishna with Radharani in Vrindavan? And in Vrindavan, he's more beautiful than elsewhere. But who is more beautiful than him? Radharani. Yeah. This is all very wonderful. So how to resolve this? I would say it's just a matter of context. The Lord appears also according to the desire of the devotee. Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hritsaroja ase shutek chitapato nanunata pungsam yatiya ta urugaya vibhavayanti tat vapu pranayase sadanugrahaya. Sadanugrahaya, he appears out of his mercy in that form which is desired by the devotee, according to that devotee's particular wish. Yat-yat-diya ta-uragaya vibhavayanti, according to his vibhava. So we can also understand that Krishna in Vrindavan wants Srimati Radharani to be more beautiful, more attractive than him. because the sweetness of their relationship is such.
It's a matter of revelation.
Yeah, it's a matter of revelation, but it's a matter of revelation in relation to the desire of the devotee. Because the Lord is always keen to reciprocate the love of the particular love of the devotee. But in this case, there's something else going on, right? It's a very different kind of context. Krishna is acting as a trickster for a certain function to happen. He wants to favor the demigods. He wants to cheat the the demons. But he's equal. So like that. Good. Yes.
I have an acquaintance. He married his wife because he is very sure that she is very pretty. But other men say she's not at all beautiful. But he's convinced. Because he fell in love with her. And this is an equal way of the devotee is has some relationship to one specific form of the Lord for him. It's the most beautiful. It's the Ram Bhakta and Ramchandra is the most beautiful because it gives the natural love for that form.
Yes, so again, that comes to the subjective side of perception of beauty or the existence of beauty, right? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yashodarani speaks about the inner beauty as shining through. And that's something also philosophers have discussed from ancient times, that there is kind of inseparability between the good and the beautiful. And even in Chinese philosophy, this idea is there. Where there is goodness, where there is virtue, there is beauty. Good. Okay. On that note, we'll say. What? Yes.
About that, Krishna is fair, it came to my mind. Can we say, if we consider everything as a lila and ultimately non-dual in his supreme place and above, and then he is playing in lila, then the demons, we know they were Vaikuntha, they had their own identity, they came to play, like and others. So can you say it's not relevant to say if Krishna is fair or not because it's all lila? Is it a right statement?
Can we say that it's irrelevant to consider whether Krishna is fair or not because it's all lila? We might want to say that up to a certain point, but I think we have to be cautious also. And it depends in what context we want to discuss the character of God. If we're in a group of people discussing philosophy of religion, it may be very important to consider fairness of God. We might also want to bring the point about Leela into that discussion, but then we may have a big challenge with some philosophers of religion. The idea of lila is, it's a huge idea, and some will say, well, this is a kind of easy excuse for anything and everything to simply say, oh, it is lila. Some will say like that. But from a devotional perspective, we might be inclined to say, yes, lila is such that it cannot be questioned in such relative terms as fairness, unfairness. Yeah. So I wish you all a wonderful day today. We're going to begin our little, what are we calling it? Seminar, workshop, something this afternoon. What time? 5 o'clock?
5 p.m.
5. And where? Nandagramram. Okay, over here. So whoever has time, would like to come to join, we're going to talk about Bhagavad Gita. Making friends with Krishna's words. The 18 yogas of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hare Krishna.